Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the chess tutorials here. I am Narrative Nomad, your host. Let's get in it and talk about the Evans Gambit. Okay, so we have our first move here. Where is that? There we go. All right, nothing too assuming right here. Typical basic opening, controlling the center, attacking the black pawn on e5. Bishop moves in to attack the squares. And this is, again, your Gratio piano basic opening. But now here comes the Evans Gambit. Okay, the pawn has moved up to b4. Kind of trying to draw the black's attention away from the center. And it has worked so far. Bishop takes the free pawn. Okay, so we moved up to c3. And then the bishop has moved back. Still keeping that diagonal open, under pressure. Then, of course, control the center here. The D pawn has moved up. And an exchange has happened. Except for, I would have thought so. But instead, white has decided to move and castle. Keeping its pieces active. Smart, but I didn't see it coming. And then the knight has moved, getting ready to castle. Now here in this beautiful move that I would never have seen in a million years, bishop has moved to a3, preventing a castle, keeping the king in the center for now. Trying to free it up. Black has decided to move up the D pawn. The D pawn to D6. And white going to fork and keep pressure on the black army. Has moved it up. Oh man, he got taken real quick. Now my mind tells me that we're going to take the E5 pawn with the knight. But that's not what happens. No, instead of a weird move for me, the queen has moved to the B3 square. Thinking again, going up. But it's also adding support to the bishop C4 diagonal there. Queen has moved up. Trying again to free the king from being attacked here momentarily. Rook has moved to the E1 square. Getting ready for an attack. And an interesting advance, which I thought was always interesting. The pawn has moved up, ready to take the knight. However, he can't take the knight because the rook is on the E file. So, what is black thinking here? Even white doesn't know. So he moves up to the D2, getting ready to take that free pawn. Well, the bishop has taken and willing to offer an exchange, I guess. Again, curiously, he's willing to threaten the rook. I'm thinking to move the queen, but the queen can't take it with the queen, right? So the bishop is being sacrificed to take up a piece. Which piece is it? Well, it isn't the knight. And here, in a very interesting turn of events, the bishop has now had a discovered attack to forking the two rooks. Which I thought was very interesting. So he takes the rook. And he gets taken back. Now the interesting thing is, as soon as the knight moves up, that ultimately it'll cause a discovered check. But where I would have thought, as a rookie amateur that I am, that the knight might have willing to double check, by taking the F6 knight. That's not what white does. No, after the king moves, he moves it to G5. Okay, I could kind of see a fork coming up. Makes sense to me so far. But then that's another move. The knight has tried to distract the white's plan by attacking the queen. Now, for an amateur like myself, that might have worked, but not for the genius playing the white pieces. No, he keeps with his plan. queen gets taken. And so now a check has been made by the knight. Queen takes it, another check. So there was a queen exchange, but not quite as I would have thought. Now, here's the beauty coming up real soon, y'all. King has moved forward. That's really the only place he has right now, with the exception of the C6 square. But now white has decided, okay, I am going to keep that one there, tightening the noose ever so slightly. And naturally, now I don't know if at this point black saw his defeat coming, but the book has shown me this one right here. Rook has now moved to the E7. He can't be taken because of the bishop on the A3 square made way back toward the beginning of the game. Now, it took me a minute when I was reading this and discovering for myself the fact that, oh, that's why I can't take the rook, because the bishop. It took me a second, guys. I'm embarrassed a little bit to say, but that was a very interesting game by white, because as I was watching some of these moves, I'll be honest, it threw me off. So this has been the studying the Evans Gambit. The match has been done by, give me a second here. No, not that one. The match was done by DeRivierie and Journoud, I don't know, in Paris in 1860. But this has been a textbook, cut and run dry Evans Gambit in my book that I'm currently looking at and studying. And if you like channels like this, you know, click a like on that video and subscribe. Basically, as I tried to study chess when I was younger, you know, it was always hard for me to sit there and move the pieces and move the pieces. Doing it on a computer is a lot easier. And I hope for you guys, just watching these makes it a lot easier as well. If it does, drop a comment below. Let me know that this is a good thing to do. Until next time, this is Narrative Nomad. We're going to play some more chess later on. I'll see y'all next time.